The world of law. A complicated dog-eat-dog system filled with unique characters and defenders of truth, peace, and justice. Every lawyer sworn to oath aims for the rank of judge, earning a chair in the Supreme Court and be immortalized in the halls of the Olympus Courthouse. A young attorney by the name of Sickem strives for that recognition. With an undying loyalty to his clients, a keen sense of law that comes down harder than his bite, he digs for facts like an old bone, sniffing for evidence and relentlessly barks his case. These are the trials of Sickem, attorney at law.
For the last goddamn time, she is not suffering from Stockholm Syndrome.
Miss Prick, according to Miss Bell's testimony, was she not abducted and taken prisoner by this beast?
In exchange for her father's freedom.
It's a simple yes or no. You don't need to bore us with the details of her whole life story.
Yes.
Now, during her confinement, she started to hallucinate and befriend inanimate objects.
She was not hallucinating.
She claims she was talking to a candle by the name of Mr. Lumiere and a clock by the name of Mr. Cogsworth.
They were servants cursed along with my client.
I'd like the jury to notice that she's not answering yes or no.
That's because you keep taking things out of context.
Your Honor, I'm finding it hard to finish my cross-examination with Miss Prick's constant outbursts.
Oh, you're so infuriating.
Ms. Prick, calm down. Mip, proceed with your questioning.
Now, as time went on, did she not begin to develop feelings of trust and affection towards her captor?
Objection, Your Honor. I request that the prosecution stop hounding my witness as she has repeatedly answered this question.
The doctor's records report that the witness in question has a family history of mental illness.
That doctor was a corrupt quack who was easily bribed and got his license revoked.
Well, as much as I'd like to believe in fairy tales, I prefer facts. And the fact is the witness should be properly diagnosed by a medical professional.
My witness is completely coherent of her situation and is capable of speaking for herself. She is well-read, independent, and is able to decide what's best for her.
The concerned people of this town claim that the night of the event, she came running back and was acting stressed, frightened, and hysteric.
That's because they locked her father up, then locked her up, and took up arms to invade my client's private property to slay him.
Imagine being a hardworking, blue-collar hero, living in a home of prosperity, and then finding out that there's a rabid monster threatening your way of life, abducting your family, your friends, your co-workers, subjecting them to some sort of deranged, enchanted fantasy beast fetish.
Is it too far-fetched to believe that two people can fall for each other regardless of race, class, or gender? He risked his life to protect her from wolves, gave her a library to make her feel at home, and spent many romantic evenings together. His actions were more human than that of a savage monster.
That sounds like he was grooming her with all these lavish gifts and gestures, making her feel pressured, probably expecting a little something in return.
You may expect something, Mr. Dickham, but my client did not. And despite not being able to break his curse, he let her free because he was in love. True love.
He was bipolar, and it sounded like an emotionally abusive relationship. One moment he's smiling, the next he's in a screaming fit, telling her what she can and can't do, where to go, what to eat, what to wear while eating it. That doesn't sound like she had much of a choice. And in this day and age, where women are constantly being objectified and made helpless by men of power, I speak on behalf of women everywhere that we are sick of it, and we must be heard. Time's up, Miss Prick. Me too!
Are you that much of an asshole that you can't get off your misogynistic high horse to stop yourself from speaking in a woman's place? Or is it ingrained in your DNA to believe that we are not capable of taking action for ourselves? Like we're helpless damsels in distress, as if the path for a better world and opportunity for us is through you speaking for us.
Cool it, you two, or I'll hold you both in contempt.
Your Honor, I'd like to bring forth another piece of evidence that will surely put this trial to an end, if I may.
Go right ahead, Miss Prick.
In our possession is the magic mirror, which sent these townspeople in an uproar, and will surely be able to project the events that were perceived that night.
Objection for hearsay and lack of foundation.
Under what circumstance?
How do we know that this mirror can accurately depict the events that transpired that night and not what the user wants us to see?
He's got a point, Ms. Prick.
The defense is willing to let Mip use the mirror to recollect the incident of that night. As a matter of fact, we encourage it.
Fair enough. Mip, approach the evidence table.
Your Honor, this is ridiculous. She is making a mockery of your court, leaving the fate of this trial up to the projection shown on a woman's cosmetic device.
It sounds like someone's afraid to learn the truth.
Well, if you want a cold, hard truth, then let us not forget that this beast savagely murdered one of the greatest men to walk this town and should be charged with second-degree manslaughter.
Hang his ass! No, kill his ass! What kind of bullshit tactic?
Order! Order in my court!
Loved by those who knew him, revered by those who wished to be him. In his passing, he left behind a tavern, an ambiguous lover, and a legacy that will forever be solidified in this little town. He was a war hero, a man of integrity, virtue, hard work, and song. A man of dreams, and no one dreamt quite like Gaston. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Miss Prick preaches love, and sometimes love can fade. But these townspeople want justice. Not out of revenge, but out of love for a fallen idol. And justice is a tale as old as time. I rest my case.
Defense, do you have anything to say?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ask you not to be blinded by the smokescreen set up by the prosecution. Gaston was a known brute and womanizer.
That is slander, and I will not sit idly by and listen to this.
Down, Mip! Down!
Am I wrong?
One more outburst like that and I'll hold you in contempt.
Look, I know when you look at my client, you are quick to see a monster. But it was the act of the town that was truly monstrous. Over time, we have grown to discover a gentle, compassionate soul that would not bring harm to anyone unless provoked. He was a man cursed, desperate, and alone, yet still found it in his heart to unselfishly love another. I strongly believe that my client is innocent and should be free to live out his life in peace.
Members of the jury, have you reached your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor. We, the jury, in the case of the Beast versus the Townspeople, find the defendant guilty of second-degree manslaughter.
That is
Guilty.
First degree.
Then that settles it. I hereby sentence the Beast to death by lethal injection. Court is adjourned.
Now that court's out, you want to grab a shrimp scampi,